On this episode, we talk about the best reasons to use a travel agent. Plus, we have a pretty big announcement. Today is March 25th, 2022. This is episode 446 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hi, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. And if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you'll get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. We want to give a huge shout out to our premier sponsors of the Main Street 16 Challenge, Vacation Grocery Delivery, who is not upcharging you on groceries when they deliver them to your resort or wherever you're staying in Orlando. Big shout out to Mouse Dining, who you can find at msmfriends.com. They're going to help you get those hard to find dining reservations. And most recently, a big thank you to our wonderful friends at Touring Plans. You know all about Touring Plans. We have talked about Touring Plans. We use it. And I'll tell you what, Rhonda, it's going to be needed, very much so.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to accomplish the Main Street 16 Ride Challenge, go to touringplans.com to check them out. If you're still wondering what this Main Street 16 Challenge is, go to mainstreet16.com, find out more, and you can go ahead and join to participate. And signups are only going through April 5th, so you want to go ahead and sign up for either the scavenger hunt or the ride challenge as soon as you can. So I know we've been teasing this big announcement, and we are glad that we can finally make this announcement. And we actually have a guest for the announcement, and he's also going to join us for the entirety of this show.
Yay.
All about why you should use a travel agent. We are welcoming Chuck Marchetti to the show, and the announcement, if you aren't already figuring it out and what this entire episode is about, we think that the next step in Main Street Magic and kind of the Main Street Magic family is to launch and start Main Street Magic Travel.
Wow.
So that is it. Chuck, welcome. We're so glad to have you. Chuck is going to be our lead agent, and we're going to find out a little bit more about him in just a second. Do want to say thank you and give a big shout out to Melissa Pilgrim, who has been our wonderful agent for many, many years, and we love her to death. We just did feel that this was the next step. With the launch of this, you will be able to go to mainstmagictravel.com. You can fill out a form for a free quote. Chuck will be in charge of that and getting in touch with you and planning your Disney vacation. And we're going to talk a lot more about that in this episode. We're not currently in the position that we're going to take on additional agents for now, but we will be in the future. And we will keep you updated. So if there are some agents out there that, you know, in the future are going to want to join Main Street Magic Travel, you will have the opportunity to do so. So Chuck, welcome. We are so glad to have you as a part of the family. And why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself as an agent and as a lover of all things Disney before we dive into our top 10 list of why people should use Main Street Magic Travel.
All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me here. I'm excited for this opportunity. Thrilled to be doing this with you guys. I couldn't think of two better people to be taking on this Main Street Magic Travel. A little bit about me. I'm a big Disney lover. My wife, my son as well. Those on the Main Street Magic community probably have seen my Facebook posts. We live about an hour away. We're there very often, probably every weekend. We're huge Disney lovers. Take advantage of the annual passes and really just be sunk into that Disney magic as much as possible. We love it. So we had many years that we did not live so close, and now we feel privileged to be so close and be engulfed in it so much. And it's really one of the big reasons I enjoy being a Disney travel agent so much, is helping share that with others, helping others plan their magical vacations, and very excited to do that.
Now, Chuck, I also know that not only are you a Disney lover, but for sure your wife is a Universal lover as well.
Yes, she is. She's a huge Harry Potter fan. We also visit Universal very often, not as often as Disney, but yes, we're huge Universal fans. My son is a teenager. He's more the thrill ride seekers. So the Velocicoaster is probably his favorite ride, all of Orlando now. But yeah, she's a huge Harry Potter fan, and I love Universal as well. So we do visit the parks quite often. Like I said, we're probably in Orlando every weekend.
Yeah, you're there more than we are.
Yeah.
So you're definitely a Disney expert. Before we start counting down our list, just a little background. This is something that Rhonda and I have talked about for quite some time. But we didn't want to personally be travel agents, and when we Not yet. Yeah, I mean, when we met, Chuck and Allie and their wonderful family, we kind of just started to hit it off. We started to see them more in the parks. And we one night said, you know what, we're all going to go to dinner. And we said, Chuck, we want to talk to you about something. What do you think about this crazy idea of us forming this travel agency? And Chuck was like, I'm on board. Let's make it happen. And so we're making it happen.
Yes.
It's very, very exciting for all of us.
Yes.
And we can't wait to kind of continue on this journey. Well, let's get into the reasons you should use a travel agency. And this is not supposed to be like a giant plug for our new Main Street Magic Travel. Literally, use a travel agent.
Mm-hmm.
We hope that you will use us. If you choose not to use us, just use a travel agent. And these 10 reasons will really tell you why. Rhonda, what is number 10 of why people should use a travel agency?
Well, number 10 is they have a Disney degree from the College of Disney Knowledge. Now, I'm actually not so sure what that is. So, Chuck, could you fill me in?
Yes. So everyone who's a certified Disney travel agent has to go through the Disney College of Knowledge. It's a series of coursework, videos, questions, and then testing or quiz, I should say, to make sure you're familiar with any and all things Disney, really. The resorts, the parks, the ticketing, and down to the cruises, Aulani and Hawaii, everything.
Wow.
So they do a great job of making sure the agents know what they're selling.
Yeah. Well,
That's
and
awesome.
what I think is great about that is you double up on that by being in the parks all the time. But
Right.
even if you weren't, you're still going to have the knowledge basically almost as someone who was. And that actually leads us perfectly to the number 9 reason why you should use a travel agent.
Which is they know Disney parks, the resorts, like pretty much inside and out, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And like I mentioned before, I take pride in it myself. One of the reasons I'm there very frequently is to stay in the loop of everything going on for all our travel clients. Not just for my pure enjoyment, of course, but to stay in the loop of everything. We want to know there's constantly new stores, new rides, new restaurants opening, or things changing constantly. So staying in the loop of what's going on there is so important,
Yeah, and especially
Absolutely.
now more than ever,
Yeah.
as we continue to kind of come out of a pandemic in a sense. Just,
Right.
Thinking of today, the three of us live and breathe Disney. I mean, literally every waking moment, whether it
Yep.
is being in the parks or it's being on Disney news sites or on social media. So again, if all of a sudden somebody is talking to Chuck and they're going, yeah, I can't wait for my trip next month, we're going to use the minivans. He can go, well, wait a second. They're not actually coming back out until summer. So
Right.
the knowledge that Chuck has and that we have, it helps save people that can't spend every waking moment on social media or researching a Disney trip. We can answer
Exactly.
all those questions. And these segues are outstanding, if I must say so myself, because we're going to go right into number 8.
Which is you save time with a travel agent because Disney planning has gotten so complicated now. I mean, I remember when, probably 20 years ago, you could be like, hey, you want to go to Disney today? And yeah, sure, we're just going to go. And now you can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, this is the most complicated you've ever seen it. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Between park reservations, dining reservations, now throw in Genie Plus.
Yeah.
It's gotten quite complicated.
And time is money, right?
Correct.
So not only are you actually saving them time, but you're saving them money in the long run. And this is number 7, by the way. Sorry, I stole Rhonda's thunder right there. But I think one of the biggest things, and then Chuck, you can expand a little bit, is that I always do the research first.
Right.
But it's sometimes hard to compare. It's sometimes hard to know if I'm looking at a Florida resident rate for a room, or I'm looking at a pass holder rate, or I'm looking at a spring rate or a summer rate, and how each of those compares and which one is actually currently available for my dates, because they put those in different blocks. So I guess talk a little bit about how you go through helping people save money by looking for the best deal. And then what happens if somebody books a room at rack rate and 3 months before their trip, a deal comes out and the room is less money?
Yeah, so that's always a possibility. If a deal comes out that's less money, they'll be able to get that better rate. That's absolutely the case. That's another great reason to have a travel agent. They stay on top of that for you. Like, they always know when deals are. We can back check any other current reservations that fall in that time frame for that deal and make those changes so that you get that better rate. But like you said, time is money. I know a lot of people, some people love to do their Disney planning on their own, and that's fine if you got the time, because it is very time consuming. You're not just making a reservation for your hotel, jumping on a plane and going. You really, at this point, you got to kind of pick what days you're going to do what parks and what restaurants. And there's a lot of details that go along with it. And some people may not just have the time to really figure out every last little detail, because it can get very complicated.
Yeah.
Very time consuming.
Oh yeah. And that even almost goes back to number 8 with how complicated it is. Right. It's another spot where, and we obviously are an extension of, Chuck and the knowledge that he can give you. And even if you've booked through Main Street Magic Travel and you have questions, all 3 of us are available for those. It's not just Chuck in the sense of, he'll be the planning, he'll be the booking guy. But if all of a sudden you're like, hey guys, what park do you recommend I do on this Tuesday that we're there? And, we'll be able to help kind of lead you in a way and say, well, based on crowds, based on time of year, based on certain things, this is probably what you should do. I think one of the best parts, even though this is at number 6, because we have a good top 5, number 6 is probably the best. And what I think the majority of people that have asked me about travel agents in the past have no clue. What is that, Rhonda?
They're free to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you find that most people don't even realize that this service is completely free to them?
So yes, that's one of the biggest myths about travel agents. A lot of people think, I don't want to use a travel agent. That's going to cost me more money than I got to pay them. No, that is not the case. Our services are absolutely free. We get paid from Disney. That's how that works. So whether you book the trip yourself or you use a certified Disney travel agent, it is going to be the same price. Absolutely same price.
Woohoo! So you all hear that?
Yes.
Book through Chuck.
What was that?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. We have a new tagline apparently.
And speaking of being free, guys, another part about booking with a travel agent is it's not just free, but if you're booking on your own without using a travel agent, you're essentially paying for a service that you're not receiving. So all of these benefits that we were speaking of, you're not receiving any of those benefits, but yet you're paying for it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
You're completely right, because Disney's not going to help you navigate your days in the parks. They're not going to help you with your dining reservations. They're not going to give you tips and tricks on, what to do at the resort and all. So I think that is another wonderful point to number 6 with the fact that travel agents are completely free.
Yes.
As we continue to talk about planning, as we continue to talk about the questions that people have, Rhonda, what is number 5 that travel agents will help you with?
They will totally help you with Disney dining reservations and your 60 and whatever days out that you need.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the things I've noticed too is sometimes people forget where their 60-day mark is. They might have missed it, and then all of a sudden it's panic mode. And you guys know, and as I'm sure as most of the listeners, it's tough to get those reservations you really want. So
yeah. Well, and what a lot of people don't realize is they say, all right, I'm going on, I'm gonna have to do math real quick. I'm going on August 15th. So they automatically think that June 15th is their 60 days, but it's not. When you have months that have 31 days in it, their date, July has 31, I believe. So technically their day would be just say June 16th. And so all the time I see people, they're in there on June 15th. I can't make dining reservations. What's going on? And so again, it's having that knowledge and those reminders that we can say, hey, your dining reservations are coming up. Which dining is most important to you? Because, kind of here's a recommended way of going about it, and starting with something like a California grill and worrying about Yak and Yeti, a little bit lower towards the list. And dining also things just popping into my head is, letting people know that if they're looking at doing places like Rainforest Cafe, Yak and Yeti, they can do the Landry's card, which will give them, preferred walk-up reservations. They'll get gift cards. Us collectively have experienced Disney and Disney dining in every way possible. And I bet if we cross-referenced, we've hit probably 98% of the restaurants on property. And so being able to assist people with that knowledge and helping them get those, hard to get dining reservations helps. Plus, we also have a wonderful relationship with Mouse Dining in case you do miss out on those. So speaking again of planning and securing things and getting advice, what is number 4, Rhonda, which I believe is the most complicated portion of a Disney vacation that we have ever seen and ever will see? What is number 4?
Well, number 4 used to probably, you could say, fast passes, but now they are gone. So now we have Genie Plus that this awesome travel agents and Chuck can help with.
Yeah.
So the Genie Plus it's very complicated system. It's not as simple as just book a couple of lightning lanes in the morning and you're good. There's some tips and tricks to it that I can help clients with, as well as you guys, as we've learned all these little tricks with stacking and finding good times. So that's, like you mentioned, Jeremy, it's a very complicated system, and helping people understand it and learn these tips and tricks can help really optimize and get as many lightning lanes as you can in a day.
And, one of the things that we've always done with the podcast that Rhonda and I have said is that we'll often try and experience something so we can tell you if it's worth your money. And so we actively will go in. I mean, we just did this recently. We said, you know what, we're going to Epcot today. We're going to go ahead and get Genie Plus, and we're going to figure it out and experience it. And, Chuck and Allie are doing the same type of thing with us being in the parks. We always want to use our experience to make your experience better and save you money, so that we can go in and say, Epcot is not worth you purchasing Genie Plus for the day, but it is worth you purchasing a lightning lane for Remy's or something like that. So we're constantly trying to experience it as things continually update and change. One of the things that I think is really great is our number 3,
which is one point of contact through the planning process. Yeah,
you just deal with Chuck.
Yes,
that's it. You don't have to worry about, somebody here and there and it's all right through our main man, Chuck, right?
Right. Absolutely. Especially, if you're booking a trip where, you're going to flights and you're going to stay in a hotel and you're buying tickets, and who knows, maybe you're doing a cruise as well, and all these different things going on. And, having one person, me, handling all that, it's, again, we talked about it a couple of times, saving time, saving money. It's having this just one person point of contact that just deals with everything, makes it so much simpler and easier. And
yeah, and it's, and it's one of those things where, and I know a lot of people do enjoy planning their own vacation, and that's perfectly fine. Those people are always going to want to do that, but there's something nice about, maybe something showing up says, here's your itinerary.
Mm-hmm.
Here's when you check in. Yeah, here's your flights. Here's everything. And you have it all in front of you, and it's so much easier to follow, because I just can't stress enough. I know that a lot of people that listen to this podcast are Disney veterans, and they go often, and they know what they're doing. But for anybody that goes once a year or every other year, it's your first time, this is super, super important, because the last thing we want is for you to spend several $1,000s and not have a good time because you're so stressed out from planning. You're so stressed out from keeping up with things. You're so stressed out because you didn't even know Genie Plus existed. So having this one point of contact is extremely important. Something else I think is going to lead us right to number 2. And what is that, Rhonda? Because ultimately, and we've talked about this, on a Disney trip or any vacation, something will go wrong.
Yes. And it is so nice to have an emergency contact during the travel if something does go wrong. And we could call Chuck and go, hey, my trip or something's going on. And
I mean, and maybe you can give us some examples. I'll never forget, and I know this is the old days. We were talking to our good friend Aaron at Coronado, and the travel agent had actually booked their park day or planned their park days, and then the husband went in and planned their dining reservations. They didn't make sure that they were at the same place. So yes, but there's an opportunity, or, you show up and there is something wrong with any of your plans or a reservation or whatever. We don't want you as a guest to have to worry about it. We want to be able to help on the back end. And so you're not wasting time. You can go about your day and then we'll say, hey, we got this fixed or whatever. Right.
Right. Absolutely. That's another thing we I take great pride in doing the job is keeping everyone happy. You're on vacation. You want things to go smoothly. So if something goes wrong, a lot of people may go into panic mode. All of a sudden they're stressed out and they're not enjoying a good time. I had an instance where the client's flight got canceled while they were on their connecting flight. And I was able to fix the issue before they even knew the flight got canceled.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that way they don't even get to that panic mode where, oh gosh, my flight got canceled.
Yeah.
So, it's great to be right on it. Make sure, like you said, having one contact.
Yeah. I mean, anything that can help reduce or relieve stress from our clients and guests is really going to be super, super important to us. We've talked about people, they do like to plan their own trips and all, and that's fine. And honestly, if you want, you can go ahead and do some research and have everything ready to roll. And you can still send it to Chuck to do the booking because of what, Rhonda, is our number one. And we have always believed very, very strongly in this, being one of these ourselves, and even now so with Chuck.
Yeah, you are supporting a small business. It helps us out. And in all honesty, we actually would use a travel agent too before, sometimes actually quite often for our rooms and stuff. I mean, I know Chuck was actually helping Jeremy with something recently for our future. So we do it as well.
Yeah.
So just because you travel, you plan your own stuff, sometimes it's just, like, hey, let me just go ahead and let Chuck do it.
Yeah.
Because you're helping us out.
Well, and I'll give the perfect example of, Chuck's very first Main Street Magic travel client is Rhonda and I. And we were looking to book Fort Wilderness in August. And I went out, I looked at the dates we wanted, I looked at the prices, and then basically was like, Chuck, are you seeing the same thing? You go ahead and book it. Because again, I could book that myself, but it isn't supporting a small business. It's simply just supporting Disney at that point. So, we want people to be able to say either, I have no clue what I'm doing, help me. But it's also okay if you say, I'm going August 5th to 8th. I would like to stay at Coronado Springs in a standard room, and I would like a 3-day base ticket and this, and just hand that over to us. And you have that opportunity to support a small business. And that is our top 10 reasons for using a travel agent. But we have a bonus.
Ooh.
And I think this is another one that is extremely important that people do not realize. They say, oh, you're a Disney travel planner? That's great. How much do you cost? Well, we're free. And what else do they not realize, Rhonda, as our bonus?
That not only can Chuck plan your Disney vacation, he can plan your Universal, he can plan your cruise, he can plan if you want to go to Great Wolf Lodge, he can plan if you want to go to Alani or up to Alaska, or you pick a place and he can do it.
That's right. Yep. So we can book any and all travel pretty much. Cruises, all-inclusive trips, anything and everything.
Yeah. And I think that's great, as again, some people may end up, and then here's the thing, let's just say somebody, fills out the form for the free quote, and they're looking to go to Disney, and it comes back and they go, you know what, I just don't think that's in the budget for this year. Okay, well, where's somewhere else you might want to go? And Chuck and Main Street Magic Travel will be able to book that as well.
Absolutely.
Well, we're so super excited to take this next step. We're so happy to have Chuck with us. He's absolutely outstanding. Him and his entire family. If you haven't gotten to know them already, highly suggest you join the Main Street Magic community on Facebook. Again, they're so active in there, and I think that's another part of all of this is that not only do you get the three of us when you have questions, but you get the entire Main Street Magic community. And as your trip is coming up, our community is so wonderful and so knowledgeable. And not only if you ask a question in there, it's very likely that, the three of us are going to answer, but you're also going to get thoughts and opinions from so many other, wonderful people that are in that community. So we're very, very excited for this. There'll be a lot more news coming. MainSTMagicTravel.com. You can go there now. You can fill out a form for a free quote. Chuck, thank you for joining us. Thank you for helping us make this announcement and talk about all the wonderful reasons to use you and Main Street Magic Travel. We're so excited for this journey, man, and we're glad that you're along with us.
I'm very excited as well. Can't wait to hear from all the listeners and help everyone start booking their trips.
So again, MainSTMagicTravel.com. Fill out the form for a free quote. And as I said, if you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community. And go ahead and check out WonderlandCrew.com for our Patreon group. As long as you're out there on the internet, we would love if you subscribe. You get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And could you please leave us a rating and review?
Because it'll help our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.